Just as choosing the correct tyres and maintaining them is crucial for your motorcycle's handling and your safety, never underestimate the importance of selecting the correct tyres or running the correct tyre pressures for your trailer. Trailer tyres perform totally different duties on the road compared to your motorcycle. Trailer tyres are not subject to the same acceleration or high braking forces as your motorcycle tyres. They do not control direction in any way, and their only purpose is to carry your load and to follow directly behind your motorcycle. They need to be sturdy enough to carry your load without any swaying and to resist any deformations or squirming while cornering. Trailer tyres should also be narrow and have shallow treads. Selecting the correct trailer tyre can also reduce your fuel consumption and give you a smoother and safer ride. One of the most common problems associated with towing a trailer occurs when your trailer sways from side to side, known as trailer sway, and it can be very dangerous. The swaying can indeed get so bad that the trailer will lose traction and slide sideways off the road, taking you and your motorcycle with it. Incorrect tyre choice, incorrect tyre pressures, and incorrect loading of your trailer will all contribute to trailer sway. Ideally, your trailer's tyres should have grooves and ribs running all the way around the tyre, with identical tread blocks on the outer and inner sides. This symmetrical type of tread pattern design is the most preferable for any trailer, as it offers the least amount of rolling resistance and will greatly help keep the trailer rolling in a dead straight line. You basically have two types of tyre construction types to choose from, those being radial and bias ply tyres. Radial tyres have softer sidewalls, giving your trailer a smoother ride and your suspension won't have to work as hard. They also run cooler. Bias ply tyres have stiffer sidewalls, and while they will give a rougher ride, this stiffness does more to combat the side-to-side swaying that all trailers will naturally try to develop. It also prevents the tyre shape from changing or folding over during cornering. While I am very reluctant to recommend one type over the other, as all trailers are not created equal, I will say this. On one of my own trailers which I purchased with bias ply tyres, when the time came to replace the tyres, I bought radial tyres. While the radials definitely towed much smoother, on occasions I did experience some trailer sway, something which never happened while I was using the original bias ply tyres. Whichever type of tyre you decide on, you should have your trailer wheels balanced. An out of balance wheel can cause excessive wear on suspension components, uneven tyre wear, and will negatively affect your motorcycle's handling. This is a subject which is misinterpreted by many people. Even some so-called tyre technicians get this wrong. Either that or they just don't care. Many tyres may have a yellow or possibly a white dot on the sidewall, which marks the lightest part of the tyre. If your tyre has this dot, it should be lined up with the valve stem during installation. However, some tyres may have a yellow dot plus a red dot. If your tyre has both, and your rim has a dot or a dimple which marks the lowest point of the rim, then the red dot must always take priority. Line the red dot up with this mark during installation and just forget all about the yellow dot. If your rim doesn't have any dots or dimples marking the lowest point, then forget all about the red dot and just line the yellow dot or white dot up with the valve stem as previously mentioned. The more care that is taken during your tyre installation, the less vibration your trailer will have. If you can get car tyres with a symmetrical tread pattern which are narrow enough to fit your rims, car tyres on motorcycle trailer will in some cases perform quite well. But tyres made specifically for trailers, or ST tyres, do actually exist for many reasons. Trailer tyres have stiffer sidewalls, which help prevent your trailer from swaying and deforming during cornering. They have shallower tread, meaning they squirm less, run cooler and have less rolling resistance. Trailer tyres are also typically narrower than car tyres, decreasing rolling resistance even more and allowing for more space inside the actual trailer. They are also made from different compounds to car tyres to dissipate the heat more quickly. Be sure to look at the speed and load ratings of your chosen tyres to ensure they match your trailer's fully loaded weight and your riding speed. The load rating index is per tyre, so if your fully loaded trailer weighs 300 kilos, you would need a tyre with a load rating minimum of at least 150 kilos. Of course, almost all tyres are rated for much higher loads than this. But a tyre with a significantly higher load rating than what you actually need will result in a much firmer ride. maybe even too firm, which could cause your trailer to skip over bumps and force your suspension to work twice as hard. Motorcycle trailers do not carry anything near the loads of a normal trailer, hence their tyre pressures need to be lower. I'll talk more about tyre pressure shortly. It's very important to remember that most special trailer or ST tyres are only rated for fairly modest speeds, with the highest being 140 km an hour. And as these tyres are specifically designed for trailers, this suggests that 140 km an hour is the absolute maximum safe speed that you should ever tow any trailer, even if you have much higher speed rated car tyres fitted. As a rough guide, you can use these figures, but you need to check your own tyres' speed ratings as they could be quite different. Exceeding any of these speeds will likely increase the chances of you having a blowout. An average sized 17-inch motorcycle tyre will do approximately 75,000 revolutions during a 161 km ride, whereas a 10-inch trailer tyre will do approximately 100,000. That's a lot more revolutions than your motorcycle's tyres, and the faster you go, the more heat is generated inside the trailer's tyres, which will increase the air pressure inside your trailer's tyres, and this in turn will also increase the chances of you having a blowout. Unless you use your trailer very regularly or on extremely long trips, most likely you'll find that your trailer's tyres will need replacing due to their age rather than having worn out treads. If you must store your trailer outside, don't park it on the grass. Park it on a piece of wood, and keep the tyres out of the sun, and rotate the wheels regularly. If you see any signs of deterioration such as this, replace them, even if your tread is still as good as new. It's much better to store your trailer in a dark garage. This avoids any oxidation, and with the tyres off the ground to avoid any flat spots. Stored in this way, your tyres will last much longer. In fact, stored this way, they can last 10 years without showing any signs of deterioration or cracking. But you'll also need to check their hardness, as tyres will harden over time. So try sticking your fingernail into the tread. Tyres should be soft like rubber, not hard like plastic. Even so, it's a good idea to replace the tyres once they're 10 years old, no matter how good they may seem from the outside. This seems to be a very controversial issue. Some riders run pressures as high as 90 psi and say that they have towed their trailer for many miles without any issues. These extreme pressures are far too high for any motorcycle trailer, whether it's a cargo trailer or a camper.
Let's play a little Russian roulette.
It just takes the once for things to go wrong, resulting in catastrophic consequences. The tyre pressure written on your actual tyre is the absolute maximum pressure that you should ever put in the tyre, and only if you're carrying the maximum load that the tyre is rated to. It is absolutely not your recommended tyre pressure. The tyre pressures listed on your trailer's placard are just a recommendation. The manufacturer doesn't know the load weights that you will be carrying. And if your trailer's tyres have been replaced at any stage with different tyres, with a different load rating, the correct tyre pressure for them will be different again. There is, however, a formula specifically for trailers which is used to calculate what tyre pressures any trailer should be using, no matter what type of tyre is fitted. Firstly, you will need to know the total weight of your fully loaded trailer. Next, you need the maximum load rating and the maximum PSI of your tyres. This is the information mentioned previously that is on the tyre's sidewall. For an example, let's look at this tyre, a Kenda Lodestar K371 8-inch trailer tyre, which has a maximum load rating of 268 kilos at a maximum inflation pressure of 60 psi. And for this example, let's say that your fully loaded trailer weighs 200 kilos. The first calculation is the maximum tyre pressure divided by the tyre's maximum load, 60 psi divided by 268, which equals 0.224. The next calculation is this number, 0.224, multiplied by the fully loaded trailer's weight. So 0.224 times 200, which equals 44.8. The final calculation is this number, 44.8, divided by the number of tyres, which of course is 2, which means the correct tyre pressure for this particular setup is 22.4 psi. If you end up with an extremely low tyre pressure using this formula, it means the tyre is incorrect for your purposes. Very low pressures of below 20 psi will increase the possibility of your tyre coming off the bead. So I highly recommend using this formula when selecting new tyres for your trailer. While it may be a rare occurrence, it can happen. There is also another method to very accurately find out what your ideal tyre pressures are for your trailer and for your specific load weight. This following clip is from one of my other videos, and it is a foolproof and accurate method, because I got this great tip from a bloke named Mick in a private Facebook group. It's unbelievably simple yet extremely accurate, and it works a treat. All you need is a really fat piece of chalk. Tow your loaded trailer until your tyres are up to normal operating temperature. Stop and draw a nice wide line across the width of the tread with the chalk. Then ride a few hundred metres down the road, pull up and have a look at the chalk line. If it has got fainter in the middle, your tyre is overinflated. If it has got fainter on the edges, your tyre is underinflated. If the chalk line is worn evenly across the whole width of the tread, then that's your correct tyre pressure. When your tyres cool down, take a reading of your tyre pressure and write it down. Now you have your cold tyre pressure for that load weight. Of course, if you substantially change the load in your trailer at any stage, you will need to do this again.